Halle Berry is what happens to her with men. She had two boyfriends slash husbands absolutely flip out on her. And I mean flip out. Like David Justice. Now, David Justice played baseball for the Atlanta Braves and for the Cleveland Indians, and I think he was either married or dating Halle Berry. I can't remember how official their relationship was, but David Justice flipped out on her. And there was, comments of, allegations of abuse and stuff like that. Well, David Justice never had any prior history of that, and nothing has happened since then. And what happens with people is there's generally a pattern. There's a pattern that takes place, and the pattern is consistent, and they'll show themselves. But I think that David Justice found out. I think he found out what Halle Berry was all about, and he flipped out. Flipped out. Now, Halle Berry was married to Eric Benet, who's a fairly famous singer, and he flipped out. Now, why do these men flip out with Halle Berry? They flip out because they find out what's going on and what she perhaps was at one point in time in her life. Can you imagine that moment? David, I have something to share with you. This may be a little bit difficult for you to take and understand, to take in, but there are things about me that are different than other women. Oh, really? Tell me, baby. Well, David, it has to do with the fact that I was at one point in time, a long time ago now, okay, but because I've been me for a really long time, because I am me now, but I used to be a young boy. What? Say what? What you talking about? I mean, I could just see that how that conversation would go down, and all of a sudden, not only is the person not who they say they were, which is kind of a weird thing in and of itself, and a major violation of trust, but then you find out that they've become, a different person, that they were started off in Camp A and went to Camp B. I mean, what kind of reaction would that engender in somebody? See, engender. That's right. They'd flip their wigs. Absolutely flip their wigs. Because there would be a whole level of deception that they'd have to deal with. The other person, and their own deception, their self-deception. How could I not see this? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, fascinating stuff. And we're living in a world that becomes clearer and clearer every day that's built solely on illusion. It's really a very deep pit, this Maya. So that's about it for today. Just nothing incredibly intense happening on the news front, although it's there if you want to find it. I talked about it last night briefly on the other show, the live stream. Germany set to take on 250,000 more Muslims, paying Turkey $3 billion. You know what they're paying Turkey $3 billion for? They're paying Turkey $3 billion that the 250,000 Muslims that they're taking in is not 1.5 million Muslims they're taking in. It's kind of like a throttle fee. You were paid $3 billion, only send us 250. 1.5 billion gets you, 500,000. 1 billion gets you, about a million people, a million Muslims. So we talked about that last night, and that is kind of ongoing. Trump is continuing his newly evolving stance around Islam and Saudi Arabia, which is very kind. He's been very kind. By the way, there's this part of one of the reasons why I brought this gender thing up. And there's a convergence with Trump because Emily, whom we talked with about Venus Williams and Serena Williams, is that she said that Donald Trump is kind of asexual. Asexual. There are videos out there that actually say that Donald Trump is a woman. How about that? It's all out there, boys and girls. It is all out there. If you want it, you can find it. And I don't know. I haven't really delved into the woman part. But I'll tell you, Trump has some very strange connections early in life. And like for instance, we talked about the Roy Cohn connection. Roy Cohn being the lawyer who was in charge of kind of being Joe McCarthy's handler when Joe McCarthy was outing the Red Threat. And Roy Cohn being a member of the John Birch Society and this hardcore conservative, closet gay. You know, this was a long time friend of the Trump family and worked for Fred Trump, his father. But Trump was also really close to Liberace. He was buddies with Liberace, which I find quite strange, to be honest with you. And if you look at Trump Tower, it looks like something that Liberace would have loved to have lived in. And then there's that really strange video of Trump with Rudy Giuliani, and Rudy Giuliani dressed up as like Carol Channing / Marilyn Monroe, and Trump actually kissing Rudy Giuliani's fake boob, which is kind of disgusting, I have to say. So there's some high strange in the realm of Trump. High strange. And I guess if we wanted to go even one step further and really climb down that rabbit hole, I guess we'd even have to question whether or not Melania is actually a real woman. I know. It's bizarre. But she kind of fits some of the profile in some ways. And if that's the case, then who is Barron Trump? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not making any kinds of declarative accusations or stamps that this is who she is and what she is. Just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. File that away. Put that in your own personal X-Files. All right, a little bit of an extended version today of 15 Minutes of Flame, but we're drawing it to a close here. Thanks for chiming in. Yes, you're welcome. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m., with more High Strange as we climb down the rabbit hole in this astrological new year. I'm Robert Phoenix. Have a great day.